Playoffs continue here in Georgia with the Georgia High School Association. Welcome to another round of Soccer's in Session, brought to you by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. And so in this hour, as we continue our postseason approach to Soccer's in Session, we're going to take the tour. I need everybody to grab your paper because I believe in card stock this time of year. When you write everything in pen, and especially with the way that the weather is, you got to write stuff down on paper that doesn't give. And so it's not wet and doesn't end up crumpled in a corner. We're going to go over all the brackets, what happened yesterday. We'll get you ready for what's going on today. We'll get you ready for round number 2. And we actually do have an announcement when it comes to our first, one of our first round 2 matchups. We'll let you know about that as we go. So we are officially in a no dilly, no dally zone as we have 16 pieces of paper here. We're going to grab 2 of those pieces of paper. We're going to go to Hogansville. We're going to catch up with the head coach of the Callaway Cavaliers and the head coach of the Callaway Cavaliers, Mike Petit. Thanks for dropping by, Coach, and it's great to have you on Soccer's in Session.
John, thanks very much for having us. We're really excited to be here and appreciate you guys giving us some time to be with y'all.
Oh, it's all fantastic. The time that I get to spend with Coach Pete during the other football season, I know what everything means down there in Hogansville, and it's a chance to catch up with you and the Cavs. So how difficult is it for you to be the coach of the Cavaliers and the coach for the Cavaliers? And what I mean by that is you're looking at 2 programs. How do you juggle your time, sir?
Well, I have a really great support staff. First of all, when you talked about Coach Pete Wiggins, being the athletic director, he has given me just this tremendous runway and platform to run my program, and he does that for all our coaches. He supports us 100%, but is not in the way in any way, shape, or form. And I can't thank him and Eric Woods enough as ADs. I'm one of the assistant ADs as well, but really kind of way in the background as far as that's concerned. But so we have tremendous help from them and allowing us to do, pretty much what we need to do with the program. And then I have amazing assistant coaches. I got Jeff McGuffin on the girls' side and Hunter Lee on the boys' side, and John Will White, who's our goalkeeper coach for both sides. Jeff has been a parent here of 2 graduates for playing through the soccer program, been a longtime assistant coach before I took over with the girls. Hunter Lee played for me here, as well as John Will White. They both played for me. So it's always good to get guys who still want to stick around with you after you've kind of fussed and yelled and coached them up pretty hard, and they still come back. So that's a good feeling. But those guys are awesome. They can run with the program. They can do everything that I do with them without me to a large degree, which makes me a little worried sometimes. But they really can take over and step in with whatever I got going on. So how we do things is we run a back-to-back practice. I'll start one team 1 week. They'll be the early team, and then they'll go for 2 hours. In the middle of that time, the late team will come in about an hour into the first practice, and they'll start their stretching and technical work. And my assistant coach that day, let's say the girls are early, so I'll be with the girls the first full 2 hours. Hunter will come in with the boys and do the technical work for about the first hour, and then I slide over and change gears and finish up with the boys. So it's a busy day, but it really works. Game day is not much different than it has been. We've always had a program where both teams play together. We travel together. We do double headers. So I was already there at the school setting up, getting game day ready. Now I not only just set up, get game day ready, but I go coach both teams. So it's a lot of fun. There's been some challenges when you transition between, you're fired up at one game, maybe it didn't go so well. You're kind of not as pleased as how it went. You bring some of that fire to the boys, and they're like, whoa, coach, hang on. Let's change gears here and stuff. So I've been accused of that more than once, but it's been really good doing the girls for 3 years now, and just having really good success with them, and the boys just same as well.
LaGrange Academy was the previous stop before you ended up there at Callaway, and you've been setting program records there at that program. Do you remember what it was like the first day you walked in the door there at Callaway and what you were staring at with both of these programs?
I'll tell you, I've been teaching for a good while. I started my teaching career in '98 at LaGrange Academy, and they were nothing but great to me and had great experiences there. But coming over here, I mean, as a veteran teacher and that kind of stuff, as a veteran coach, you step into the classroom the first time, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so new, so different. And you see the volume of kids that showed up for practice the very first day. And I'm like, wow, where are all these kids from? I'm not used to all of that. And, so that brought its own set of challenges, how to kind of step into a bigger arena, so to speak, and manage more things than you had to manage at a smaller private school. I appreciate you saying that, our level of success, we've been fortunate with some very good athletes, some very talented kids from both the girls and boys sides, and really been able to bring the program up to a level where we really think it should be able to be sustainable and continue at this part, because we do have that kind of talent. We do have that kind of sport here in Troup County and in LaGrange. It's really got a lot of good players down here, good coaches down here, and we're just glad to be kind of in that mix for a change.
What's it been like to see the sport grow there? And when I have my conversations with Jack Patterson and Rex Castillo, it's always in the Western Frontier. So what's it been like to see everything grow there in the Western Frontier?
I'll tell you what, it's been excellent. You got like West Georgia, University of West Georgia bringing in a Division I program and stuff so close. Columbus State with their bringing on a Division II program within the past, 10, 15 years or maybe, and that kind of stuff. So you got a growth of a real soccer culture in and around us. Auburn's so close by. We've been able to do camps over there and go see them play and stuff. So you have that, hey, this could be you possibility nearby as far as the collegiate level or going beyond. The clubs have really blossomed in and around here as well. And that is something that our kids here at Callaway are really just getting their teeth sunk into. We have not been a school where we have had a lot of club players, and those kids play because they play so many different sports. They really can't commit to one. And that is a beauty in itself. Having an athlete just get after it with every single sport is awesome to see them blossom from, say, soccer to basketball to football or things like that. But when you can get kids who start, really getting invested in one sport, really working on that talent, really working on that commitment to it, you see the product at a high school level as well. And for now, both our boys and girls being at that club level, we're reaping some of those benefits. But it's been a real collective effort here in town. The county just passed a bill, I guess, to really expand our local soccer complex to make it one of the premier destinations. We're going to have multiple fields, 2 full-size turf fields, as well as a full-size grass field, being able to bring in large tournaments. And that's just going to be able to elevate, to soccer across the board for us here in town.
Looking forward to all of that. So once again, as the program, I had to grab my 2 sheets here. So as the head coach of one program and as the head coach of another program, right now, across the board, you're evenly distributed in the scoreboard rankings, number 3 and number 3. So you're a head coach that's number 3 in the rankings, and you're a head coach that's number 3 in the rankings on the boys and the girls side. Since we believe in chivalry here in the show, we'll start off with what's going on the girls side. 2-1 win over Union County as Team 15 hosted Team 18 in the opening round, and that gets you on the girls side. Once again, you're talking double-digit wins, and you're doing really well there. Break down what happened yesterday as you're now 14-5.
We had a really, really good game last night against a really, really good and well-coached Union County team. Tim Hunter, I don't know if you've run across him in your travels around the state, but he has been a staple up at Union County, really involved in the GHSA All-Star game and stuff, and brought down an exceedingly competitive group of girls who are very, very young and will be a force down the road. Our girls are super young too. We essentially start 1 senior and 2 juniors, and the rest are freshmen and sophomore, and a couple of young ones off the bench early as well. So it was a setup of youth versus youth and kind of who can maybe handle the moment. we got off to a really good start and went up 2-0 at the in first half. Our keeper did have to come up. Elena, who's one of our starting juniors, came up with a great save to keep it 0-0 pretty early, about 10 minutes in. And right there kind of was a turning point for us. We made that save, steadied the ship, and really started to put some offensive pressure on them, really able to get around them with a little bit of speed. We matched up with a little physicality as well, which is good for us because I think if we're into a little more physical game, our girls are a little more into it and stuff. And so once we kind of settled in, scored that goal, took a big breath, got that second goal, we felt real good about ourselves. Now, we knew they were going to come in the second half, and they did. We had a couple of chances early. One, they had a goal line clearance that could have made us up 3-0 within first 5 minutes of the second half, which we really talked about, hey, if we could stick one in, we could probably get this done. We ended up giving up a penalty about 15 minutes into the second half, and they converted. It was well struck. So here we are, 2-1. We're looking at 25 minutes on the clock. We were doing a water break because of the heat. And at the water break, we just said, hey, keep playing, stay steady, do what we've been doing to get us to this point so far. We're 20 minutes away from taking this home. And they did. They dug in and, had to face a couple of challenges. Again, our goalkeeper, Elena, came up with another big save, a 1v1 situation. We're able to see that one out in a very competitive game. So it was really good to see us do that. I think it's been coming for us for a long time, especially with our age, being so young, being a little now understanding what it takes to win those tight games. We did it against the Wella last week in a tune-up for the playoff game. We won that game 4-2 in a sort of a back-and-forth situation as well. And so that game helped us, and some others in the season. Morgan County, again, a 2-1 game with them. Really good battle back and forth to a really good Morgan County team. Good gosh, looking forward to seeing how far they could go. Boys and girls, goodness. And but those kind of battles made us grow up. And we're no longer a bunch of freshmen and sophomore anymore. We're battle tested, we're hardened, and really earned what we got last night.
And you're low right in the bracket for those following along and writing in pen as we go. Morgan County winner over Miller Grove last night. They're going to host, it's going to be Murray County, who is Team 23. So Murray County gets to go to Morgan County. You know that drive, except they're coming from the mountains and they're working their way down and over. Yeah. And you get Columbus, and you get to take on a team that didn't have any issues with South Atlanta as well. So low right as you're following your bracket. Murray County at Morgan County in your region. Callaway is going to Columbus. Just how crazy competitive is your region? Because if you go upper left in your bracket, Pike County is just kind of laying in the weeds. And, everybody's like, well, Pike County, this, Pike County, that. Where's Pike County? They're in Zebulon. They're tough. You're tough at Callaway. You got Morgan County. We had Aaron Paul on the show last week. So we know what your region's like. But for someone who doesn't know what your region's like, how is your region, sir?
Our region is, if you're playing a region game, you better bring it every single time. There are no cupcakes. From Pike to Morgan to Callaway, boys and girls across the board, really, really strong. Then you add Jackson in there, who is very competitive. Their boys beat Morgan County and surprised everybody with that, I think. But I don't think it surprised themselves. They came down and beat us. And so, that's a good side right there. Their girls are coming along. The two Macon schools we have are competitive and are not just lay down games. We got into not a back and forth, but it was a high scoring affair. I think the girls were 9-5 against them. So it was fun to watch. But so if you're not ready to come and play really good soccer every time you step into our region, then you're going to have a long night. And people aren't going to expect that. Again, we're over here in Hogansville tucked away. You got Zebulon tucked away. You have to get a map out and maybe not even find it and stuff. But those girls and those boys are really good. Again, Coach Osteen over there at Pike doing the girls and boys as well. You said Coach Paul and Coach Stamps with the girls program up in Morgan County have really good, really prepared teams, great programs. And, they've been some really good games. And again, you're getting your money's worth when you come to see one of our region games.
You ain't kidding. Let's go to the boys' side. And it is number 7 in the rankings, Hart County. They get to travel from Hartwell. My guess is they probably left about 3 days ago just to get there in time. So they're coming from the border. and they're going to be making their way to Hogansville to take on Team 10. So right now, once again, one of the top 10 matchups. You got two teams top 7 squaring off in this one with Hart County and Callaway on the boys' side. What's study hall been like getting ready for this one?
We've put in our time making sure we're doing our homework and stuff. Hart County is a good team. They are going to play hard, and they are going to play fast, and they're going to be physical, and they're going to want to get up and down the field. They play in a pretty competitive region as well, where kind of everybody goes against each other pretty equally up there. And I think they're going to be really battle tested and stuff. We're going to have to, be focused and stick to what we think will do best for us. If we get off of script, so to say, then it becomes what happens and can we make the most out of it situation. I think our boys are pretty focused. I think they're excited about this opportunity. I know they've worked very hard in getting to this point, and this group of guys is a great group of guys. They have really come together in a way that we haven't had in a long time at this school. We have a great mix. We got a big crew. I think there's 27 of us out there, so there's a lot of youth, and the youth is contributing. We got a couple of them that are going to start tonight, and a couple of them are going to play early, off the bench and stuff. We got some guys who've been around the program for a long time, playing at a good high-level club as well, and that mix has been good, and they've come together as a group of guys to fight for each other, to play for each other, to care about each other and stuff. It was hilarious. The young kids, a bunch of freshmen who are good guys and just love to have some fun, though, they hand drew a fat head of our senior goalkeeper for his senior night. And it was hilarious, but everybody loved it. And there was pictures all over it about it and stuff. And that kind of sums up kind of our group of guys and stuff. And tonight, regardless of what Hart County is going to bring, and they're going to bring their fair share of issues for us to solve, we're going to come together and battle, and we're going to stick, we'll be together through it all.
So when you have a team that is, as I guess, geographically detached, we'll put it that way, when you figure out who you're going up against, how difficult is film study in a situation, I guess, A, once again, trying to find tape on Union County girls, B, trying to find tape on Hart County boys, and then trying to focus on both of those messages as we, that's why I wanted to ask about practice and what it's like to navigate both of these teams. When you're in a postseason, how difficult is it to get tape? Is it phone calls, word of mouth? Do you just do that? How do you study with teams that are as across the board as a Union County and a Hart County here?
Yeah, well, as far as film study goes, it's just you spend a lot of time doing it. You buy a few minutes here, you buy a few minutes there, you spend some time at night, the kids and the wife go to bed, and there you are with the computer up late and stuff. Again, I got great assistant coaches who are going to spend their fair share amount of time grinding on film as well. And so there's a text chain going all night long of, hey, do you see this? What do you think about that? And stuff. But it just takes some time. Good thing is coaches are getting more and more willing to share. We got a big coaches email list where we can find out who is the coach, hit them up and say, hey, look, I sent you a request on Huddle. We got a VO account. Can you send us something? And most of the time we get a response, hey, I didn't film, or hey, here you go. No problem. Good luck. And that kind of thing. We try to be real reciprocal with that. Somebody reaches out for film, we're going to be willing to share just because we know we're going to look for it as well. And, if you're going to ask, you got to give and that kind of thing. So we do that. And so coaches have been good about that. I wish there was, maybe a rule like there's in football where you have to share some film. That would make life a lot easier, but, not everybody is going to invest into the, that kind of, I guess, equipment and time with that. And we sure do. We spend a lot of time with the technology side of it, spend a lot of time on the film side of it. Our kids watch a lot of film as well. We really encourage that. And so that's been part of it. Now, the messages, like you said, of preparing one team for one and another team for another, that is a challenge because you really have to stop and separate the two because you tend to think of the program as one group of kids and they have their own personalities. We play our own style of play. We don't do the exact same thing with the exact same program. So, we play different formations and everything like that. So, and that's a choice that we make because we want to fit what's worked for our kids best. So as coaches, we have to spend a little bit of time detailing a game plan, detailing a practice plan, saying this is what we're doing with the girls today, and then we have to set up a whole other practice for the boys. And sometimes we have to say, okay, timeout, go get water. I got to set up 87 cones and move this goal and that goal. But the kids know it and they roll with it and they're okay with it and stuff. A lot of times they'll, if we're setting up a whole bunch of stuff, they'll go and maybe get a rondo going, especially the boys will and stuff. The girls, maybe not as active in the downtime and that kind of thing. But, it's just you have to make a conscious effort to focus on both sides and see them as separate entities, because it would be so easy to just say, here's our practice, run it for the boys, run it for the girls, and make it the best it can be. But if you do that, then you're not doing what you need to do for each team as individual groups.
All right, as you get ready for the matchup tonight against Hart County, I'll have you cut the promo for anybody in near Hogansville as we wrap things up. But what I like to do here is what we do at Georgia Public Broadcasting, and we've kind of co-opted it here at SDH, where during our football Fridays in the fall, we always talk about make that kid an offer. And Hannah and I will talk about it. Matt Stewart and I will talk about it, where it's those athletes and those student athletes that are, and I'm going to be another dollar in the jar for me. They're using air quotes. They're too whatever. They could be too small. They could be too slow. Their grades could be, not where they need to be. Do you have on either roster or both rosters, do you have seniors or even rising seniors, or and I've had coaches that have given me freshmen and sophomores to keep an eye on folks over the next couple of years. Do you have student athletes on either side that are either not getting the looks you think they deserve and the attention that you think they deserve, or not getting any looks at all, and you want to stand on the at the top of Callaway Stadium, LaGrange College, and sit there and go, look, you need to look at these folks. Does anybody fit the bill?
So for the boys, I got two seniors who played for us now for 4 years who haven't, for multiple reasons, not gotten into the club scene. And so they're completely flying under the radar, but they are the heart and soul and backbone of our whole program. And that would be Christian Cook and Angel Velasquez. Chris and Angel will go out there and they will work themselves till they are completely exhausted. They will drag their hurt body around the field no matter what, and they get it done. Chris is playing in our midfield. Angel's one of our center backs. Angel is like, I call him a ninja, because he's not going to say a word. He flies in out of nowhere. No one ever sees him, and he saves the day every time. In our senior night speech, I said he must wear a cape underneath his jersey because he just pulls it out when he has to and stuff. They haven't gotten that opportunity to get looks because, hey, they don't play club. And, it's hard to get recruited just out of high school for soccer and stuff. So that lack of opportunity for them has limited their choices. We talk about it. I encourage them to hey, let's talk to this coach. Let's talk to this coach. We built some relationships with some people. Point University is a great pipeline for us here in town. Their coaches, Mark and Randy, Mark for the boys side, Randy for the girls side, have been so great for us and supportive of us, that they would take our kids basically on our word. And so those two kids for the boys side would be phenomenal players for anybody who could get a chance to take a kid who's just willing to grind out work. You want work rate, you want effort, you want to be the team guy, that glue guy who doesn't need the attention, doesn't need the rah-rah, but will make something happen. You want to talk to Christian Cook, you want to talk to Angel Velasquez. On our girls' side, our younger girls are the ones who are going to be the ones that will you want to look at and stuff. I got one junior, Isla Garcia Hidalgo, who is strong, tough as nails, and just needs that touch more refinement. She in and out of club again for whatever reason and stuff, but she's a junior. You want to talk about a strong, fast girl who is fiercely competitive. You got her. And if somebody wants to look at a rising junior there's your opportunity to see her do something. Again, you put a little more refinement, you put a little more finish on that product, and you got somebody really special. And then we got some younger girls who maybe down the road we can talk about, and if we get to, if you're hosting us down the road sometime soon.
No doubt. So when folks walk in the door and they see you for the first time on the boys and the girls side, who would those who are sitting in the stands who aren't familiar with your program, who would they naturally gravitate toward if things are going well for you on offense and defense?
All right. So talking for the girls' side, up front is a senior for us, Bianca Sola. And Bianca is a first-year soccer player, to be perfectly honest. She transferred in 2 years ago from North Carolina as a highly accomplished volleyball player. She won a state championship with her high school volleyball team, and she was the MVP of the state tournament as a sophomore. But she brings a level of athleticism that we haven't had, and then she has the speed to match it, and then the will to win. I mean, she has that it factor who really pushes things. So she grabs your attention. And then we got a couple of midfielders who are really good, really smooth. John Will, my goalkeeper coach, he nicknamed her Poetry. Because she kind of just flows and makes things really smooth and never looks like she's putting a lot of effort into it, but gets it done. And that's oh gosh, now I'm just blanking. Becca Bryan. Sorry, Becca Bryan. And she's new to us this year as well. She is a sophomore who transferred in for us and has made a real statement for us in the midfield. And then for the boys' side, you got two guys who are really outstanding for us. You got Ricky Vaughn, who is a striker for us, plays up front. Great name, right? And he was preseason All-State selection and has scored 20 goals for 3 straight seasons now and stuff. Has every move in the book. It is as technical as any guy gets. He gets the ball on his foot and it's like it's on a string. And so he's really, really strong with there. And then Jaden Bailey, who is our center midfielder and really the heartbeat of our whole program. Super talented kid, goes full speed every time, all the time, and gets it done. So those guys will grab your attention for sure, all those kids.
So let me get this straight. So you've got Wild Thing and a Ninja on your boys' team, and you have Poetry on the girls' side.
You gotta love it, right? I mean, nowhere in the world would we pull this out. You make this stuff up.
I mean, that's fantastic. I love it. So that reminds me, do you have just a straight up dress black uni that can help them?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. We're all black.
See, now, man after my own heart. All right. I know that the 4th has held up the sign, and we have gone well past the allotted time here with our friends from Pro. All right. Cut the promo for me. It is tonight. Hart County, number 7, Team 23. Checking in on you, ranked number 3 in the scoreboard rankings at Team 10. Lay it on me. Where can folks go?
So we play at our campus. We play here at Callaway High School. We call it Cavalier Field. We have just an amazing facility. It is a natural grass field, one of the best ones that you can run across. We've done some amazing upgrades here. We have a brand new paved parking lot with concession stands and great bathrooms, all brand new building just opened up this year. So you can come see us here at Callaway High School. Kickoff is 7 o'clock. We'd love to have a big crowd. Come on and join us.
Fantastic. You realize, of course, this means that you can no longer be a stranger when it comes to the high school show.
Well, I appreciate it, and we will be here anytime you guys want us.
Love it. It's great to get the education on Callaway on the Callaway side and the Callaway side. Both ranked number 3. Mike, great to see you. Be good. Be safe. May the weather behave tonight. We'll catch up with you soon, my friend. Thanks for dropping by.
Thanks, John. Appreciate y'all.
You bet. Wow. That was a conversation that went a lot of different directions. That was really cool, and I kept him so long it wasn't even funny. I mean, literally, I was doing the math just in my head. We literally were talking to each other before the show. Mike came in early, and so we kind of got to catch up in the green room a little bit. We just spent like 32 minutes talking, but that's what this is all about. It's about introducing the state to the rest of the state. I wanted you to find out what it's like at Callaway when it comes to the boys AA bracket and the girls AA bracket, and find out what's going on down there in Hogansville, because it's in that crazy region that they're in. Pike County, Jackson, Westside, and Rutland were the 2 teams, the 2 Macon schools that are in his region. So literally you have Westside, Rutland, Pike, Jackson, Morgan, and Callaway. All of that, I think that's everybody. All of that in one region, and we have the deep runs in AA boys and AA girls. And so we'll go over all of that. But that is what you can go and catch up on the Western Frontier tonight if you are anywhere close to Hogansville at 7 o'clock. And that is what you're laying out here. Number 7, Hart County at number 3, Callaway. The number 3 girls team in Callaway beat Union County 2-1, and they get Columbus. So that is your rundown. Now let's go over through everything that happened yesterday, and we will break it all down for you in the brackets and all of the games that happened that were all across the board. And so it was a really fun conversation there. So let's see what happened yesterday. Once again, an hour game yesterday on the girls' side. It was a 4-0 win for number 5 Oconee County as they knocked off Johnson Gainesville. So Oconee County advances low right in the girls' side. And that was one of the results from yesterday as well. So AAA girls. Let's go through what happened there with AAA girls, and I'll fill out my bracket with you to get you all the final scores. Number 1, Jefferson over East Hall. They put 8 on the board. Jefferson advances. They will take on Lumpkin County. Lumpkin County at number 9 was one of the early results on the board because basically Lumpkin County went from Dahlonega. They went all the way down to Brooklet to take on Southeast Bullock. 5-1 your final there. ARC, ranked number 6, they were at home to Calhoun. They beat Calhoun by the score of 4-2, and they will travel to Team 8, Dawson County. Dawson County 2-0 winner, 2-0 winner over LaGrange. So it is Jefferson hosting Lumpkin County. ARC goes to Dawson County, and all of those are on May 1st. Low left in your brackets in AAA girls. Bainbridge over Stone Mountain by the score of 4-1. That one was in Bainbridge. Gilmer upsets Peach County 7-1. So Peach County at team number 12 gets bounced at home in Fort Valley. So Gilmer will travel to Bainbridge. So Gilmer on May 1st, get this. So Gilmer in round 1 travels to Fort Valley. Round 2, they travel to Bainbridge. So Gilmer's got some work in round number 2. Cherokee Bluff, no problem with West Lawrence. They advance, and they are ranked number 3 on the girls' side in the scoreboard poll. They will travel to Northwest Whitfield, so it is number 3 at number 8. Northwest Whitfield had a 10-goal difference with Cairo. Now, in the upper right-hand section in AAA, Whitewater, no problem with Westover. Heritage Catoosa, no problem with Mount Zion Jonesboro. So it will be Heritage Catoosa at Whitewater. Whitewater ranked number 2 in AAA girls, according to our friends at Scoreboard. And we are waiting on Adairsville and Pickens' opponent, Islands and Luella. Luella's hosting that one, and Islands at team 27 taking on Luella at team number 6. They will play number 7, Adairsville, who won against Pickens. They were an early final score yesterday also. So Adairsville, once again, they will advance, and they're going to either travel to Luella or host Islands. That's upper right. Low right, as we mentioned, the mini bracket of doom, the quadrant of doom. Sandy Creek at number 4, Oconee County at number 5. They advance. Long County, no problem with Upson Lee winning 3-1 in Ludowici. So Long County travels to Sandy Creek, and Oconee County travels to Harlem. Harlem, no problem with North Clayton. That one was a 10-goal difference, and Harlem advanced yesterday on the girls' side as well. And so let's check and see what other classifications we missed out on yesterday. And I'm trying to see, who is it? So it's 3, 4. And so 4 had already happened. And I'm looking at my dates, and now I'm getting everything all mixed up. So you're looking at the 23rd. And so AD1 girls, that happened yesterday as well. So Bremen beat Towers, 10-goal difference there. They will host Elbert County, who upset Bleckley County, but it was Team 16 versus Team 17. So Elbert County wins in Elberton. They travel from one end of the world to the other, and they're going to go play Bremen in round number 2. Lamar County is team number 9. They ended up beating Coosa by 10. Jeff Davis, we had Brian Lawson on the show yesterday, and it was an opportunity for Jeff Davis to get the sweep, and they did get the sweep. And so it means that Jeff Davis will host Lamar County, catching up with Coach Lawson kind of quickly after the matchup yesterday. He says it's going to be a tough one because of them coming to town, and he knows what they're bringing to the table. So Class A Division 1, Lamar County and Jeff Davis. That one on the girls' side, Jeff Davis ranked number 6, Lamar County ranked number 10. And so girls' activity in Class A D1, it is going to be upper left, number 1 Bremen, number 10 Lamar County, number 6 Jeff Davis. They are all upper left. Low left, Dade County, winner against Jeffco. So Jeffco travels from Louisville to Trenton. Dade County gets the 3-0 win. Worth County, who is ranked number 8, beat Fannin County 3-1. So Worth County travels from Sylvester to Trenton on May 1st. Dodge County, 4-1 win at Oglethorpe County. So they advance, and they will take on Social Circle, who shut out Haralson County. It was great to catch up with Coach Richardson yesterday on Soccer's in Session. So it is number 1 advancing, number 10 advancing. Number 10 will play number 6 in Hazelhurst. And then it is Dade County hosting Worth County. Dodge County travels from Eastman to Social Circle to take on the number 5 ranked Redskins. Right-hand side of the bracket, Thomasville, 5-1 winners over Barrow Arts. And they advance to take on Toombs. Toombs beat Temple 4-1. We caught up with Jeremy Moore yesterday on the show. You can go back and listen to that interview as he was having to juggle his own doubleheader. So number 4, Thomasville advances. They'll host Toombs County. Swainsboro shut out Vidalia as Team 11, ranked number 9. They will travel to Model. Model, no problem with Commerce, as they had a 10-goal difference there. Low right, East Lawrence, ranked number 7. 2-0 winners over the Chargers of Central Macon. They will take on Armurchie and host. Armurchie had 10 goals on Washington County. Fitzgerald in the shootout of the day, 4-3 winners at home against Woodville Tompkins. They will travel to Ace Charter. Ace Charter put 7 on the board against Rabun County as ranked number 3. So number 7 and number 3 advance low right in Class A Division I on the girls' side. So that lays it all out for you there. Elite Scholars once again over Lincoln County, and that pushes that bracket forward. Now in the Class A Division II girls, Bryan County, Irwin County, Hawkinsville at Elite Scholars. Atlanta Classical travels to Roberta to take on Crawford County, Lanier County, and Screven. That one's in Sylvania. That's the left-hand side of the bracket on the 29th, unless there's a scheduling change. Mount Zion Carroll goes to LOA. Dooley County goes to Portal. GMC will host Claxton, 1-0 winners at Atco yesterday, as Team 3 in Area 3 upsets Team 2 in Area 1. So Claxton travels to GMC. Greene County takes on Tryon. That is Class A D2 girls. We ran through what happened in Class A D1 girls. And AA girls, Pike County over Appling yesterday, putting 10 goals on the board. Same for Stevens County over Hateville Charter. So Stevens County travels to Pike County in round number 2 on May 1st. Sonorville as Team 9 shut out Jackson as Team 24. And that is in that matchup. So East Jackson will host Team 8, hosting Team number 9. Now also that will set up your action. Man, my brackets are all over the place. I'm trying to find my girls' brackets, and I can't find my girls' brackets. I found all my boys' brackets, but I can't find my girls' brackets, the ones that I want specifically. So Class A Division II, I'm looking for Class A Division I. If anybody can find my Class A Division I bracket, or my AA bracket, what am I kidding? It's I'm looking for my AA bracket on the girls' side, which is what I had when I was talking to Mike Petty from Callaway. So number 1, Pike County advances. They take on number 7, Stevens County. Sonoraville advances at number 8, and they will take on number 9, East Jackson. So 1, 7, 8, and 9 all advance upper left. It was Coahulla Creek shutting out Franklin County, number 5 in the scoreboard rankings. They host Shaw, who beat Hart County 3-1. Salem loses to Tech Career in an upset 5-1. Team 20 upsets Team 13. That means they travel to Drew Charter, who is team number 4. And Drew Charter ranked number 10. 1-0 win over Tatnall County. Big showing there for the Battle Creek Warriors, and it is Drew Charter who is ranked number 10. So number 5 and number 10 advance to the second round, low left. Savannah Arts Academy, no problems, ranked number 6 over Hardaway, and Therrell, team 19, upsets Kip. So that means that Therrell travels to Savannah Arts. Pierce County over Westside Macon, 7-0 is team 11. And they will advance to take on Thompson. Thompson beat Butler by the score of 6-0. Low right, Morgan County, no problem with Miller Grove. Murray County, no problem with Johnson Augusta. So number 4 advances, and Morgan County is team 7. Will take on Murray County, team 23, in the upset in the numbers, in the power rankings. So Johnson Augusta, ranked number 10, loses to Murray County by 10. They travel to Morgan County next week. Callaway, we mentioned, they get to take on Columbus. So it is number 2 and number 3. Next week, AA girls. number 2 and number 3, squaring off in the scoreboard rankings. Team 15, Callaway, with the 2-1 win over Union County, and Columbus putting 11 on South Atlanta as that one got to the half. So that is how that one lays out. It was Jefferson over Lumpkin County, ARC and Dawson County, Bainbridge and Gilmer, Cherokee Bluff, Northwest Whitfield, Harlem and Oconee County, Sandy Creek and Long County. We're waiting on Islands and Luella. That's AAA girls. Quad A girls, that one is finally final. Walnut Grove put 8 on Jones County. They will host Druid Hills. Cambridge and Midtown, Eastside and Marist, Westminster and Stars Mill. Stars Mill put 10 on Drew. They will host Westminster. North Oconee is going to host Northview. Alatoona hosting Pace Academy. Harris County travels to BT. East Forsyth will take on St. Pius. 5A girls, Thomas County Central loses to Jackson County. Jackson County will travel to Greenbrier. Lassiter will go and take on Chambly. Loganville to Villarica. River Ridge to Northgate. Kennesaw Mountain will go to Hab Central. Roswell will host Lakeside to Cab. Alexander to Houston County. McIntosh will travel to Pope. 6A girls, Mill Creek to Richmond Hill. Lambert to South Gwinnett. Mountain View to Walton. North Gwinnett to Harrison. That's the left-hand side of the bracket. Right-hand side, Hillgrove at West Forsyth. North Paulding at East Coweta. Campbell to Brookwood. And it is Cherokee traveling to Beaufort. Private school, on the girls' side, we do have some matchups that are still in play because of weather and date pushbacks. Hebron Christian had the bye. They're going to take on Mount Vernon in round number 2. Mount Vernon, they won at Trinity Christian 3-0, so Mount Vernon travels to Decula. Waiting on Holy Innocents and North Cobb Christian. The winner of that one will take on St. Vincent's. Either way, it is going to be St. Vincent's who will host. St. Vincent's put 10 on Mount Bethel. Holy Innocents ranked 9. North Cobb Christian ranked 24. Lovett, no problem with Kings Ridge. Fellowship shut out Galloway 6-0, so Fellowship will travel to Lovett. Paideia shut out Mount Pisgah. Wesleyan shut out the Landmark Christian, so Paideia travels to Wesleyan. Right-hand side, GAC over St. Francis. Darlington shut out Aquinas. Darlington travels to Spalding, to I-85 and Beaver Ruin, I think. Beaver Ruin is one of the exits up in Norcross. I get them all run together. Anyway, they're traveling to Gwinnett County, Darlington. Atlanta International shut out Providence Christian. Calvary Day, no problems with the Weber School, so AIS will travel to Savannah. Athens Academy, no problem with Savannah Christian. Same with Whitfield Academy and Prince Avenue. So Whitfield at Team 10 travels to Team 7. Walker 2-1 winners over Mount Perrin Christian. Savannah Country Day, no problem with Christian Heritage. So Walker travels to Savannah Country Day. Now, boys bracket. We'll catch up with Chris Romano to wrap up the show here because they're going to be busy today. We'll start things off with Class AD2 boys. And it is Bryan County at Atkinson County, Montgomery County at Atlanta Classical next week. Chatco hosting Towns County. Irwin County goes to Metter. Mount Zion Carroll goes to LOA. Dooley County goes to Claxton. GMC hosts Brooks County. Washington Wilkes goes to Tryon. That's Class AD2 boys. AD1 boys, that is today. Model, let's see if we can find our boys bracket. Here we go. Top-ranked Model. They take on Woodville Tompkins. Putnam County, ranked number 8, travels to Vidalia. Team 17 traveling to Team 16. Rabun County, Team 9 goes to Towers, or Towers travels to Tiger to take on Rabun County. Temple at Team 25 goes to number 9, ranked Jasper County, who is team number 8. Lamar County hosts Dublin. Jefferson County travels to Toombs County yesterday, and Toombs County won that one 10-1. So Toombs County advances, and they're going to take on the winner of Dublin and Lamar County. So Toombs possibly could be traveling to Barnesville, or they could be hosting Dublin in round number 2. Fitzgerald is today hosting East Lawrence, Team 13 hosting Team 20. Bleckley County travels to number 4, Armurchie. Right-hand side, Jeff Davis with the win over Bacon County, and that victory with that rival 7-2 there. So Jeff Davis, first ever time that they had a doubleheader posting. First time, safe to say, they had a doubleheader win. They will be taking on the winner of Berrien and Swainsboro. Winner of there will travel to Hazelhurst on May 2nd. Gordon Central hosting Coosa. And Social Circle traveling to number 7 Thomasville yesterday. Thomasville got the win 5-1. So Thomasville advances. And so the number 7 team and the number 6 team are waiting to see if number 10 Swainsboro can make it 3 ranked teams up in the right-hand side of the bracket in Class A Division I boys. Bremen at number 3 is hosting Elbert County. Dalton Academy travels to Dodge. Barrow Arts at Team 15 hosting Fannin County. Worth County travels to number 5 Ace Charter in the matchup of 2 and 31. AA boys, Morgan County taking on East Jackson as a matter of Team 1 and Team 32. Morgan County ranked number 1 in the overall. Pike County goes to Jackson. Jackson ranked number 5 at Team 16. Shaw hosting Johnson Augusta, 9-24. North Murray travels to Ringgold, 25-8. Coahulla Creek, ranked at number 8, is hosting South Atlanta. Sumter County travels to Salem. Thompson hosting Sonoraville. Columbus once again beat Kip yesterday by 11, so Columbus advances, and they will host either Thompson or Sonoraville, low left in your brackets in AA boys. Drew Charter at number 6, Team 3. They beat Glen Hills yesterday by the score of 9-0, so Drew Charter moves on, and they will take on the winner of Savannah Arts and Appling County. Appling County ranked number 4 at Team 14. Franklin County hosting Murray County. Jordan at Josie, low right. Crisp at number 10 hosts Redan. Hart County and Callaway, we got to catch up once again with Coach Petit, and it was a great conversation. If you're anywhere near that matchup, be there tonight as Team 23 goes to number 10. Pierce County hosting Union County at 15-18. Therrell travels to Tatnam County. Team 2 is ranked number 9. AAA boys, that is also on action today. Whitewater beat Doherty by the final of 5-0. So Doherty has a good season at Team 32. Whitewater, they advance. Whitewater ranked number 3 in the scoreboard poll, and it is they wait and see Cairo and Gilmer. Gilmer is ranked number 10 at Team 16. Jenkins hosting Stone Mountain, 9-24. Sandy Creek to number 1 Northwest Whitfield at Team number 8. Low left, Riverdale is hosting Southeast Bullock-in 5-28. Harlem travels to Jefferson. Mount Zion Jonesboro hosting Johnson Savannah. Dawson County travels to Islands, ranked number 9 in the scoreboard poll. They are Team 4 in the power rankings. Right-hand side, Oconee County at number 2 ranking. They are Team 3 hosting Luella. LaGrange travels to Peach County. Mary Persons ranked number 7, Team 11 hosting Heritage Catoosa. West Hall taking on Bainbridge. Low right, Calhoun hosting Long County. Groves travels to Johnson Gainesville, who is ranked number 4 at Team 10. Your matchup in boys in AAA, number 8 West Lawrence hosting number 6 Chestatee at Team 18 at Team 15. Winner of that one will get the winner of East Hall at Team 31 and ARC at Team number 5 and Team number 2. Quad A boys, matchups for next week. Walnut Grove hosting Druid Hills. Blessed Trinity at Midtown. North Oconee at Marist. Centennial at Stars Mill. Right-hand side, Maynard Jackson at Westminster. Clarkston hosting East Forsyth, as East Forsyth pulled the upset on Eagles Landing as a 4 seed. Pace Academy goes to Dalton. Dalton, once again, with those two sides are ranked in the scoreboard poll, and that is number 6 at number 1, Pace Academy in Dalton. St. Pius and Eastside, it is number 3 at number 8. 5A boys, Clark Central hosting Kennesaw Mountain, Sprayberry and Woodward Academy next week. Jackson County and Rome, and here is our announcement that we have. So I'll go ahead and I'll bust the news out right now. We got our matchup. It is going to be for 5A in round number 2. We will be at McIntosh as you have Stars Mill, or sorry, my bad. It is for McIntosh. It is going to be Johns Creek, as I look in the girls' rankings. Goodness gracious, John, you blew the announcement. Johns Creek at McIntosh, boys' side on the 30th. So next Wednesday, our first match of the week is going to be Johns Creek at McIntosh. That is going to be on the network, soccerdownhere.mixler.com, and on the Mixler app. Johns Creek and McIntosh from McIntosh. That'll be our matchup on Wednesday. We'll let you know where we're going to be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But Wednesday next week is our first matchup next week. Johns Creek and McIntosh here on the network. So we'll have that one for you on Wednesday. Chamblee and Dutchtown, the winner of that one is at Dutchtown. They go to River Ridge. Then it is Glen Academy at Veterans. Decatur is at Milton Lakeside. Evans is at Habersham Central. 6A boys, Decula at Richmond Hill, Meadow Creek at Grayson, Mill Creek and Etowah, Norcross and Pebblebrook. It is Campbell at Lambert, Marietta hosting Discovery because Discovery as the 4 seed upset Carrollton, so Marietta is the 2 seed. They're going to host. It is Harrison at Duluth, Walton at Collins Hill. Private boys rundown. GAC got the bye. They get to wait on Walker and Paideia. Wesleyan beats Mount Perrin Christian 4-0. They get the winner of Galloway at Aquinas. Savannah Christian today hosting St. Francis. Darlington at Mount Vernon. Landmark Christian hosting Athens Academy. Atlanta International at Team 4 had the bye. Right-hand side, Providence Christian is Team 3 got the bye. They wait for the winner of Fellowship at Calvary Day. Whitfield Academy beat North Cobb Christian 5-0. Whitfield is Team 11, will either host Mount Pisgah or they will go to Lovett as team number 6. Savannah Country Day, no problem with Prince Avenue, putting 10 on the board. They will face either Christian Heritage or Holy Innocents. Either team is going to have to go down to the coast. Trinity Christian waiting on the Weber School, 15 and 18, and the winner of that one goes to Hebron Christian, who is team number 2. That's your breakdown of your brackets, and that's what it's going to look like next week and today. And also in today is where we catch up with Chris Romano. Here's the conversation that we had with him as he gets ready for his matchup that is coming up here today, getting ready in the upper right-hand part of your bracket. So here's our conversation with Chris Romano from Oconee County, and it is an opportunity for us to let you know what's going on there. And, it'd be nice if I could, upload video or something like that. So spot me a second, and we'll see what I can do here. No, I'm not sharing a screen. I need to, upload a video, which would be nice. So how did I do this in the past? It hasn't been that long, has it? But it's been not settings. It's not in the settings. It's not settings in the video section. That's perfectly fine. But share the screen. No, I'm not sharing the screen with anybody. I'm not sharing with any of this. And so, you sit there and you make all of this great buildup, and as it turns out, you mess the whole thing up. So, I'm not adding a scene. I'm just adding video. Hang on just a second. Oh, here we go. Yeah, add scene, media. And so I'm going to walk through this, and we'll see if we can add the conversation that I had with Chris Romano. And maybe the next time that I try and upload something, we can figure out what it's going to look like here with our conversation with Chris Romano. So let's see. So that's the video that I want to add. And now it's time to turn the page, and we're going to go to Watkinsville and catch up with our friends at Oconee County. And as always, it's great to welcome in Chris Romano and find out what's going on as he is getting ready to be in the upper right-hand bracket. See, I have my bracket, Chris. I've got my brackets right here. Upper right-hand corner, number 2 in the scoreboard rankings, taking on Luella. Thanks for dropping by. Soccer's in session.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, so if I was to tell you as you're getting ready for the first round of the playoffs here that you would have finished, you run the table in region, you go 5-0, you finish 13-5 on the regular season. If I told you were going to go 13-5, 5-0, be the top seed in your region and the number 3 overall seed in AAA, what would you have told me?
I'll take it. Absolutely. We went into the season not sure how our region was going to go. We felt like we had 5 teams who could probably compete for the championship. So I'll take 5-0 in that region.
When you started out the season, and I know that you like to challenge yourself, as a lot of coaches like to do, so you can be ready for what I call season 3, the postseason. Your early season schedule, you're at GAC, you play Eastside, you play Clark Central, and you were out of the blocks at 1-2. What did you learn about yourself in those first 3 games?
Honestly, we kind of seem to do that to ourselves every year. So I felt we were probably right where we needed to be, or where we have been consistently. The boys were a little frustrated with it. Nobody likes being 1-2, but we told them, we're playing these tough games to get ready for later on in the year, and the wins are going to come, and they certainly did.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You wrapped up the season winning 5 in a row, 6 of 7 to finish up there. And I wanted to get into the season a little bit here. You only give up 17 goals in 18 matches. Obviously, a great source of pride for you traditionally is your defense. No different here in 25.
Yeah, we've been pretty strong defensively, and you can count on our back line to do pretty well. Last year, we graduated 2 seniors that were 4-year starters, so we weren't really sure how our younger guys would come in and fill in those holes, and they've done fabulous, actually. So,
how long did it take for them to get to full song and understand what you wanted them to do as those new faces back there in the back line?
I think it took a little while for all 4 of them to gel together. We had one spot that was a little unsettled. One of our outside back spots, we kind of moved players around a little bit for the first few games. I try to pinpoint exactly when it was, but it was probably a good 5 or 6 games before we finally settled on what's been our back 4 for every game. So,
and that pins it right at the North Oconee win somewhere in there, late February, where you're at North Oconee, traditionally a tough place to play, and then Jackson County, a team that's done really well this year into the postseason, and then the wins with Monroe area, and then you rip off 3 in a row: Monroe area, West Hall, West Forsyth. And I mean, from there, you're playing Pius, and then you get into that stretch run that we were talking about where you got the wins at the end of the season. Then offensively, averaging on let's see if you're having me do math here. Averaging about 3 goals a match. Is that about average for you when it comes to what you're wanting to accomplish?
Yeah, I think that was probably pretty close. I mean, you never really know what to expect. Sometimes you have some games where you score more goals, like ended up putting up 7 there on Morgan County at the end, and that certainly boosts your average a little bit. But I'd say if we're scoring 3 and giving up just under 1 a game, that's a good spot to be in.
When things are going the way that you want them to go, meaning like, I guess we could play match game here. If Oconee County boys soccer is doing well on the field, we are doing blank. What's the blank?
I'd say controlling the midfield, probably first and foremost. If our 3 center midfielders can stay connected to each other and rattle off some passes in a row, we're going to be doing pretty well offensively.
So when folks wander in to see you up against Luella as Team 3 takes on Team 30 coming up here later on Friday, what has study hall been like getting ready for Luella, or are you focusing more on yourself at this point of the year? Because sometimes film may not be available. Sometimes you might be just say, I know what they're bringing to the table. You might look at a match or two. So what's study hall been like?
Yeah, we are pretty good at getting film, so we'll do a film session with the boys tomorrow to get ready of that kind of final prep after practice for them. We've been watching it all week, so we've certainly been looking at it. But there's certain times in the year where you really, your game plan is to work on it. And then, like you said, sometimes it's just about us and what we're going to do as a soccer team. Last week when we come back from spring break, we really didn't scout Park View at all. We told the boys, we've been off for 10 days. Like, it's about us. We need to do X, Y, and Z correctly. And if we do, we're going to win the game. And that was our focus as we practiced on Sunday and Monday, getting ready for that game. So that's kind of where we are right now. And then, of course, as you get deeper into the playoffs, it becomes much more specific to opponent. What do they do well? How can we stop that? And how can we exploit what they maybe have some weaknesses at?
When it comes to the soccer audience up there in Oconee County, and I know obviously there's, you turn one direction, you end up in Athens, and you're following what's going on up there at UGA. But what has it been like for you to see the sport grow in Oconee County specifically, there in Watkinsville specifically, outside of the Athens area? What's it been like for you to see the sport grow?
Yeah, I mean, at least in Oconee County, there's been a pretty strong soccer presence in the club. So a lot of our guys that are playing have played together since they're little, but some of them kind of scatter around to the outside areas. But in the 10, 11 years that I've been here, it's certainly been nice watching the crowds get bigger and bigger. Success certainly does that to you, but we see that at North Oconee as well. They draw some really good crowds. Like you said, it's a really tough place to go play. They have their own soccer-specific stadium, which is really nice. And then, of course, when the two of us get together, it's a packed house. So it certainly is a good atmosphere, and it makes for some fun Friday nights when you have a big crowd supporting the team.
Chris Romano, the boys coach at Oconee County, hopping on with us as they get ready for Luella. Upper right-hand corner as you're filling your brackets out in pen. That's what we allow now, only now. You're filling out brackets in pen this time of year when it comes to the postseason in AAA. For someone who wanders into the stadium to see you for the first time coming up against Luella, who are some of the players that folks will naturally gravitate toward on offense and defense for you as you're going up against Luella coming up?
Probably our biggest player offensively has been Jack Stanger. He's got 19 goals and 5 assists. And he's a senior, and for the last 3 years, he's been a defensive midfielder. And we had a hole at striker this year, and he said, "I want to go score some goals, coach." And we put him up there, and he's been our leading goal scorer. So he works really hard up front, puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and he certainly stands out. In the midfield, probably our most skilled player is Alfonso Ruiz. He's our second best goal scorer this year. He's got 11 goals, 6 assists, I think. But he's sort of a creative mind out there, and you never really know which side of the foot the ball's coming off of, when he's going to pop a shot, how many cutbacks he's going to put on somebody, and he's really good on the free kicks too. So if he gets on the ball and Alfonso spends a lot of time on the ball, we're playing pretty well. Both of our outside wingers have been really solid for us, George Foster and James Gregory. And then I would tell you that our goalie is going to stand out, but sometimes you don't see him do very much because the back line has been so good. The two center backs, Noah Lionel and Scott Fairchild, have been outstanding. Had a lot of support on the wingers too. But when people take shots on Jalen, he makes big saves. So he's really solid.
What's it like?
You won't see him play a whole lot because the defense is really strong in front of him.
No doubt. What's it like to see someone like Stanger basically flip a switch and go from being a midfielder to someone who's scoring 19 goals for you?
It's been great. We didn't really know where we were going to get our goals from this year. When you go into it, we knew what he was going to bring to us up front. And there were certainly character traits of that position we wanted. He was going to be aggressive, press the defense. He knows how to hold the ball. And playing in that CDM, he really knows how to distribute. So we kind of thought maybe he might play a little more like a false nine, and come back into the midfield, receive the ball, and then kind of spring our wingers on the attack. But he's been anything opposite of that. He wins. He challenges 50-50 balls. He can beat a defender, and he can score with his left foot and his right foot. He's been a joy to watch play striker this year.
All right, last question that I like to ask coaches around the state is, when I wear makeup and a suit over at Georgia Public Broadcasting during the Football Fridays, FOOTBALL, in the fall, Matt Stewart, Hannah Gooden, and I, we have a feature that we call Make That Kid an Offer, where we like to talk to coaches around the state and sit there and say, okay, are there players in a particular team that we're talking to that for whatever reason are too whatever? And yes, I did just use air quotes. It could be too small, could be too short, could be that they're too one-footed or what have you. That their scores or their grades aren't too high. One of those kinds of things. On your roster this season, is there a senior or a rising senior, or shoot, I've had coaches talk to me about freshmen and sophomores. Is there anyone on your roster that would fit that, make that kid an offer idea, where they're not getting enough looks, they're not getting the looks you think they deserve when it comes to the next level if they want to go play soccer?
If I had to pick one out, I'd probably pick our center back, Scott Fairchild, out. He's a senior. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists in the center back position. He serves our long throw in. He's up in there on the corner kicks, but as a defender, he's been outstanding for us for the last 3 years. I think that kid needs a little bit more attention than he might be getting.
Okay, so then I know that you were thinking about it. Who else would fit that list? Because it sounded like you were trying to work through a list in your head. Who else?
Sure. I mean, if you look at our stats, our 2 outside wingers have, 2 goals, 1 of them, and where's my other guy? 6 goals for the other, which aren't glaring numbers, but what they do to defenders and wingers on the other team for 80 minutes is something. And then I've got two freshmen who have started just about every game except for when they have the flu earlier in the season that start in the center midfield at the CDM position and are more linking position. You don't get a lot of freshmen who start in the middle on a big time soccer team like that. So those two players, they got plenty of times to get looks because they're going to be here for 4 years, but they've been outstanding finds for us to be able to take two 14-year-olds, put them into the starting lineup and not even skip a beat with that or think, I got to get that freshman out of there. They've been outstanding.
No doubt about it. Well, I know that you're getting ready for the matchup against Luella. I'm expecting a great crowd, as always, that shows up there to see Oconee County play soccer. As always, it's great to catch up with you, my friend. Don't be a stranger. Good luck this weekend as Team 3 plays Team 30 in the power rankings. Number 2 in the scoreboard rankings in AAA boys upper right in your bracket as you fill them out in pen. Chris Romano, the coach up there at Oconee County. Thanks for dropping by and being a part of Soccer's in Session.
Excellent. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Chris Romano, the head coach of Oconee County, getting ready for his matchup against Luella. That's another week of Soccer's in Session. Once again, weather permitting, and once again, as you know, your schedules permit. The charge that we like to give, if you got nothing going on and you want to go see one of the matches tonight, please do. Go support a team or go support a team in your area that you haven't seen. Go see a team in your area that you haven't seen. Go do some advanced scouting for the matchups that are coming up for your favorite team if they're playing tonight. And you have some stuff that you can anticipate. So go share your love of the sport for others. And we'll be back at it again here on Monday. We'll break everything down. Once again, reminder, our next matchup is going to be on Wednesday on the boys' side, Johns Creek at McIntosh. That'll be on the network here. And so that is our next matchup. Nothing Monday or Tuesday. We do have some commitments or some other events. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week will be our matchups in the second round of the playoffs. Today is the end of round number 1. Once again, check your clubs, be there for them, show support for the sport here, and introduce the state to the rest of the state. And that's what we hope to do here every single week here on Soccer's in Session, presented by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. Thanks to all the coaches this week. Let me see if I can look at the list of coaches that was with us this week. So today it was Mike Petit at Callaway and Chris Romano at Oconee County. Yesterday, Brian Lawson from Jeff Davis, Heather Richardson from Social Circle, Jeremy Moore from Toombs, Nathan Dooley from Perry, Bobby Jaworski from GMC, and it was our favorite dynamic duo, the Rock and Roll Express, Will Homskis and Matt Hayslip at Lincoln County. And if you follow Coach Homskis on social media, he just announced that he is departing Lincoln County and he is going to the football staff at South Effingham, the fall football staff at South Effingham. But from all indications and what Coach Homskis has told me, that the program is in good hands, obviously, with what we're seeing with Coach Hayslip. And you also have, I believe, a former player who is circling back to help out on the girls' side. It was Nathan Nadeau at Dooley County, Jennifer Barr at Denmark, Ryan Burkhart at North Gwinnett, and all of you. And we couldn't do it with all of you. And once again, thanks to our friends at Kaiser Permanente for being a part of everything all season long when it comes to Soccer's in Session and the high school game and everything that we do here at SDH. So for everybody here at SDH, for Jarrett, for Nick, for Maddie, for Sophia, I'm John Nelson. Thanks for dropping by for another week of Soccer's in Session presented by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. Enjoy your GHSA soccer. Day 4, round 1 is today. Take umbrellas and maybe an extra shirt or something, an extra pair of shoes, and just be prepared for conditions if you're going to go out tonight. Everybody be safe. Go to your matches. Come home from your matches, and we'll talk about it again on Monday at noon. Soccer's in Session, playoff style here on the SDH Network. Mucha Platiel, play it safe, and since it's the end of the show, that means I get to do this. Go enjoy your games this weekend. We'll catch up with you. Soccer's in Session Monday at noon here on the SDH Network. Be good, everybody.